Hey YouTube, this is Duke. Just wanted to get on here and make a quick video about a couple games that have been keeping me busy. I'm definitely working on my next Mantra video. Don't know when it's going to be due. Still kind of in the early stages of it, but I'm going to try and get it done as soon as possible. I know which game it's going to be, and I've already started a little bit of work on it, but that will be coming as soon as possible when I have time to do it. But I wanted to, like I said, talk about a couple games that have been keeping me busy. The first game, of course, a little game, you might have heard of it, and that's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 2. As you can see, I bought the Hardened Edition because, I wanted to spoil myself a little bit because I don't buy games on release very often at all. It's very, very rare. So I went ahead and, since a lot of friends are playing this, I went ahead and plunked down the extra 20 bucks. And I'm happy to say that it does live up to the hype for the most part. Is it a better game than Modern Warfare 3? God, yes. Well, in a way, I kind of prefer Modern Warfare 3's single player to the Black Ops storylines, but that's just a personal preference. I just prefer Soap and Price and Yuri and Makarov, but that's just a personal thing. So. Is it a better game than the first Black Ops? Most definitely, in my opinion. I'll go ahead and start with, I gotta commend Treyarch for the graphics in this game. The graphics are phenomenal. Given it's still a modification of the same engine that they started using in the first Modern Warfare and Call of Duty 4, it looks, you couldn't dress it up any better than what it is here. It's colorful. It's not just, two fucking colors. It's not the same brown and gray that every other militaristic shooter uses nowadays. The best examples are definitely a lot of the multiplayer maps, especially the new Nuketown 2025 map. It's colorful. It's great to look at. It's vivid. Stuff pops out at you. The mannequins look very detailed. It's just great. The single player in this game is really cool, and the one thing Treyarch decided to do with this one to kind of differentiate this game from the rest of the Call of Duty games is offer choices throughout the campaign, which it does work to a degree. You'll see like a story outline as you're playing through the single player campaign where the results of each mission will show up, and it's very clear what you can change and what you can't change in the campaign. And there is optional missions you can take that will determine what ending you get. I think there's about 3 or 4 different endings in this game. There's optional, like I said, there's optional missions. They're the Strike Force missions, and they're the one kind of gripe I have about the single player game. I'll give Treyarch an A for effort for trying something different, because it's definitely trying to think out of the box as far as the linear Call of Duty campaign goes. And trust me, this is the same Call of Duty. It's the over the top, crazy Michael Bay-esque campaign you played before, but this one does it really well. They actually put some variety into this one. I say that because you're still going to follow Mason, Woods, and Hudson from the first game after their assignment that they did in the original Black Ops, and at the same time you're going to go way in the future and play as Alex Mason's son David and his squadron, and they're both kind of chasing the same guy, and you see what he did in the past and now what he's doing in the future and how those two correlate with each other. It's pretty neat. And you can definitely see in the campaign, I'm not going to spoil anything, but definitely play it. If you go down point A and you make this decision, you're going to get that ending. If you go down point B, you're going to get this ending, So it definitely warrants other playthroughs. I definitely have to play through it again because I hurried through it so I can play with my friends on multiplayer, and I wanted the achievements. And I got the worst possible fucking ending you can get in this game, so definitely going to try and play through it again if I have the time. Like I said, I always have something going on. I'm just now getting over a horrible cold, like I needed that, But one of the main gripes I had that I talked about in my other Call of Duty video when I played the first Black Ops on Veteran is the cheesy fucking respawning enemy sections in the single player, and where they basically all had aimbots and would shoot you in the face from 300 yards away and not even think twice about it. I'm very happy to say that the campaign and veteran here it's manageable, definitely. There's one there's one or two parts I kind of had trouble with, but it only took me like maybe 5 or 6 tries to get past them. No big deal at all. I'm going back to the Strike Force missions, and what the Strike Force missions are, they're optional missions that determine the outcome of the game. Um, they're kind of an RTS hybrid tactical kind of thing Treyarch was trying to go with. And what it is you control up to like 4 different types of units, and you can go into like an overhead tactical view, which is like an RTS view if you've ever played an RTS on the PC, and you get to select all your units and order all the units or just one type of unit to certain places on the map, and you have to defend certain buildings and territories inside bases that you get sent at, or you have to destroy certain territories. Um, I can say that there's 4 strike missions. The very last one you get the opportunity to do that one's really easy. I beat that my first time on veteran, but the very first strike force mission you get, where you have to defend certain components in a base in India, it's pure utter horseshit. Um, I've read comments on the internet where people have had problems beating this first strike force mission in India on regular and hardened. I played the entire campaign on veteran. I don't even know if it's possible on veteran, because what you have to do, you have to defend 3 objectives inside this base, and if 2 of those 3 objectives fall, then you have to go inside the base and prevent the enemy team from placing a bomb in it and destroying the base. So what you have to do, or rather what I did was, I did the common sense thing where you put a group of units at one objective, another group of units at one objective, and there's sentry guns you can use placed by the 2 objectives, and you can actually stare down and switch between the units. You can stare down the barrel of the sentry gun. That doesn't work at all in veteran. I tried to cheeseball my way through it and just let them pretty much destroy one of the objectives. That's way over on the other side of the base, and the other 2 objectives are kind of bunched together. So I put all my units around kind of those 2 objectives. And if you stay in tactical view, it's impossible, because the AI is so fucking retarded that they'll sit there and let 1 or 2 enemy soldiers kill my entire, like, every single unit I have. It's stupid. Like I said, great idea, terrible execution, but thankfully, it's just on that one mission. There's the other 2 Strike Force missions are similar to that, but they're doable. After a few, like half a dozen tries, you'll kind of understand what to do. But that India mission, that fucking sucks. But that's really about it with the single player. It's great. It's a fun ride. I definitely recommend playing it. It's not hard on veteran at all. Except for that one mission, and you'll get a bunch of different endings on it. So that's enough about single player. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. How's the multiplayer? I love it. It's awesome. Not without its problems. I'll go into the bad things first, because there's only really a couple of them, and my biggest gripe about it is the spawn system. It kind of has the same spawn problems as Modern Warfare 3, but I understand there's only so much you can do about that. The reason I say that is because there's no really big maps like this yet. I'm sure when the map packs come out, we'll get bigger maps, I'm hoping. But there's no really big maps like there was, like, say, Array in Black Ops, where it was like the wide open snow level. They're kind of on the small side. There's a few of them, like Turbine is a mountain range that you fight in. That's like nice and spacious for the most part. But they're all small, and it sucks when I'm playing, say, like Kill Confirmed in this game with my friends, and I kill a couple people, try and get their tags, and literally right before I'm about to pick up their fucking tags, they spawn behind me, shoot me in the back of the head, and run off with all the tags. It sucks. It only happens once in a while, thankfully, but when it does, it fucking blows, I just wish they can change the spawn algorithm or whatever to prevent that from happening, but, Other problem that a lot of people are bitching about is the netcode. It was really bad in Modern Warfare 3. I don't think there's any lag compensation in this game. I know that because I literally have matches sometimes where I get like 43 kills and 8 deaths, which is really, like, phenomenal for me. That's only really happened once. Um, but in Modern Warfare 3, I couldn't do that for anything. You know, there was no fucking chance I could do something like that. It felt like I was a second or two behind everyone in practically every match in Modern Warfare 3, and that kind of effect happens sometimes in Black Ops 2. Yeah, it doesn't happen too often though, thankfully. I usually pull 3 bars, which really doesn't mean anything, because I have kind of a crappy DSL connection here. So, but I manage well. I mean, this is the first Call of Duty I finally played where it's not bullshit deaths all the time. Most of the matches we lose, it's simply because the other team played better. You know, it's because they were more organized than us. It's because they defended the objectives better, you know, than to the point where we couldn't get them. That's the way I want to lose. Like I said before, I don't mind losing matches. I do mind losing matches if I empty an entire fucking clip into someone's face and they turn around and, you know, shove a knife in my big toe and I fall over dead. And that happens like 90% of the time. It happened to me in Modern Warfare 3. And I traded that piece of crap in, you know, 3 or 4 months after I bought it, and I beat the single player portion, which was the only part I liked about Modern Warfare 3. Another point I want to talk about in Black Ops 2 is the weapons. The weapons are fucking sweet. In Black Ops, to me personally, guns like the light machine guns, the LMGs, were pretty much useless to me. And in Modern Warfare 3, well, can't talk. In Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops, the sniper rifles were kind of useless to me. In this game, there's awesome guns in every single category. I'm talking, the light machine guns are sexy as hell in this game. My favorite gun is actually a light machine gun. The sniper rifles are awesome. I played one match on Carrier, which is the map on the open boat, and I went something ridiculous like 30 and 10 with a fucking sniper rifle, which never ever happens, which pretty much solidified how much better and how, you know, how well put together they made this game. The pistols are awesome. There's the one pistol, I think it's the starts with a B. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's actually a burst fire pistol, which I love that damn thing. The Pick 10 system's great. It's nice where you can put some extra perks on your class and forego if you don't want to carry grenades, if they don't really do anything for you. I actually made this class where it's made up of 5 perks, a couple shock charges, and a combat axe with no weapons at all. So you're running around with just a combat knife, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. It's like playing some kind of version. It's like playing Splinter Cell on coke. You know what I mean? Like running around, flanking the team from behind, and it's so awesome. You know, stabbing people in the back of the head like 2 at a time, 3 at a time. You know, it's great. Hilarious. Give it a try. Yeah, I mean, the multiplayer is really, really good, so I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about this game. You know, if you're a Call of Duty fan, you probably already have this, but if you're on the fence about it, if you know, you're like me and Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer did you wrong, I'm very proud to say this is, you know, much better. Give it a try. Another game I've been playing that I want to talk about a little bit is it's part of a series I've always been a big fan of, and that is Battlefield 3. I got one of those mystery certificates from Best Buy, which is basically like, you know, here's $5, come in our store and shop. I was like, all right. So I walked by and I'm like, holy shit. And I saw this is the premium edition with all the DLC for $30 fucking. So I went ahead and bought it. It's a pretty good game. I didn't really get into Battlefield 1942. I wish there was still people that played that. Is there a few people that play it? I don't know. I gotta look at that. Because I bought a copy off of eBay where the keys work and everything, where the guy didn't use them anymore. I bought it for like less than $10, I think, because I really wanted to get into it, and I wish I played it during its heyday. But I loved Battlefield 2. I probably dumped hundreds of hours into just vanilla Battlefield 2. And I played Battlefield 3, the beta, on the PC, which was awesome. And this is kind of a neutered version since there's only 24 players per map in this game, but the bigger maps like Caspian Border on the PC have 64 players, which is awesome. And the thing I love about Battlefield is this game is the closest I've ever been to an actual warfare scenario. You got fucking jets whizzing over your head. You're hearing chain gun fire everywhere. You're running. You're trying to move from cover to cover, like fucking dodging tank explosions. You see like members of your squad that are laid down. You get your fucking med kit out and your defibrillator, and you're reviving your team. You're trying to get them to cover. It's fucking nuts. You know, you're hopping in a chopper. There's Chopper, you know, he's fucking blowing shit up on the ground, fucking lands you like right in the hot zone so your squad can jump off and get the control point. It's fucking insane. Love it. This this specific version though has a much harder barrier of entry, because Microsoft in their infinite wisdom decided to release a 4 gigabyte Xbox 360 without the hard drive in it. It just has 4 gigs of flash memory on it. And the thing that's specific to the Xbox 360 version is the HD texture pack, which you definitely want to install. The PC version obviously has great textures. The PS3 version, since it's on a Blu-ray disc and it has all that space on it, and pretty much all PS3s have hard drives in them, it's automatically included. With this, you have to, it's a separate install. Even though it's only 1.5 gigabytes, it still won't fit on the flash, the 4 gig flash drive. You have to have an actual physical hard drive in your Xbox 360 to install it. So I came home with this. I installed both discs because I know if I'm going to play a game at least, you know, occasionally, I always install the disc on the drive. I still have a ton of room on it. Downloaded a 186 megabyte title update when I tried to launch the game, and I had to download almost 10 gigabytes of multiplayer updates and DLC. Granted, it was all included, but whoa, I mean, if that doesn't sound like a big deal, try doing it on my connection, our fucking $20 a month Verizon DSL connection, because my fiance isn't much of a gamer and that's what she's had for years. Yeah, downloading 10 gigabytes at 100K a second, it's painful. Thank God the Xbox 360, you know, downloads shit in the background when I'm at work. It's a lifesaver. If that didn't happen, I'd still be fucking downloading, you know, data for this game. Even though I got it, you know, over a week ago. I got it not this past weekend, but the weekend before. So I installed the HD texture pack. I got most of everything downloaded, but I wanted to, you know, I just really wanted to jump in and see what this game was all about. So I went to Quick Match and multiplayer. It threw me into a server, and I don't know what the fuck happened. This game, I know the term, you know, oh, this game's graphics looks like a PS1 game, you know, I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but honestly, this game looked like a launch budget PlayStation 2 title. It was fucking nuts. I went in, I mean, you're talking horrible texture pop-up, you know, at 3 feet from you no matter where you go, flickering graphics on walls. The trees looked like shit. They looked like fucking cardboard cutouts. It was just, I couldn't even fucking see anything. It looked like someone smeared a pile of shit on my TV screen, threw a controller in my hands and said, here, play this. And I'm like, no, I can't play it. I can't fucking make out anything at all. So then I go on Google and I find out there's a bug with the HD texture pack where people had to delete it and keep reinstalling it. And I also read, there was still a couple of multiplayer updates I was waiting for, like 4 gigs of multiplayer updates. And I was reading the notes on one of them, and they said there was a problem with prioritizing textures from the drive to the game. So I figured that was part of it. So I decided, well, I'll quit the game, I'll let it finish, and if that doesn't work, I'll delete everything and start from scratch, which I really didn't want to do. So everything finally downloaded. I deleted the HD texture pack again. This was like the third time. I deleted it and I reinstalled it, and finally the third time it actually took a little while longer to install, which I actually, you know, found the textures for the fucking walls and the trees this time, thank God. And I'm happy to report that after all that got done, you know, it actually looks like a good game now. I'm not a big stickler for graphics. I still play Atari 2600 games, for crying out loud. But I expected, you know, this to look better than a PS2 game from fucking 2001. You know what I mean? But the multiplayer in this is phenomenal. It's great. Like I said, the thing I always liked about this is it's open-ended warfare. You have so many choices in this game, whereas in Call of Duty you only have a much tinier map with narrow corridors. There's really only so much wiggle room you can manipulate in Call of Duty. In this, it's like a wide open, you know, you can approach any point in this battlefield from like 5 or 6 places. You know, it's great. And if I was to choose between the two, if you were to ask me, well, more, dude, which game do you like better? It's hard to say. It's like saying chocolate ice cream is better than vanilla ice cream. It's like, well, vanilla ice cream was never made to be like just like chocolate ice cream. It's its own entity. It's vanilla ice cream. That's what it is. So, if I was to decide, clearly you can see what my decision is. Just get both. You know, nerd it up and just get both titles. If you want something that's more fast-paced, quicker matches, a little over the top, a little ridiculous, doesn't take itself seriously at all, definitely get Call of Duty. If you want something, however, if you want something more realistic, if you want something more open-ended, if you want something a little more floaty controls, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, it's just, it has a different feel to it, is the bottom line. And a big thing is, obviously, the main stick for Battlefield is if you want to get in vehicles, you have to get Battlefield. If you want to drive jets, get in tanks, get in helicopters, little buggies that bring you to, you know, the control point you're trying to capture, wherever you're trying to go. This has all of that in this and then some. The weapons in this game are pretty good as well. They're kind of, I maybe played like 8 or 9 matches online since I got this, but the weapons kind of feel the same. I've only used a few of them, so that's probably something I really shouldn't comment on, but I really like it so far. Also the modes in this game are fun. If you want that fast-paced Call of Duty feel with this game, you can do it. There's rush modes where one team defends 2 specific points on the map with little MCOM stations, they're called, and the attacking team has to go and plant bombs on each one of those locations. It's very fast-paced, it's frantic. Or you can go with the more traditional Battlefield where there's conquest, where you capture control points, and whoever runs out of points is the loser. So it kind of goes in reverse. Instead of getting points like in Call of Duty, you start out with a full bar of points, and the first team who loses all of their points obviously loses. So yeah, both games are great in their own right. I do have one giant complaint about this, and I have to make it in a separate video because there's other things I want to address along with it, and it's the single player campaign part of this. So definitely check out my other video for my thoughts on that, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.